So, moving up to here, let's get into the zones, because the zones are the real depth of this. Many years ago, look how carefully I'm doing this. There we are, you see? You could have told me before. It's in my writing, ability to tear paper well. So, the zones of writing were discovered by Swiss psychoanalyst Max Pulver. And Pulver was interesting because he looked at something nobody had really seen before in all the years of looking at handwriting. Writing is in 3 distinct zones. So we have an upper zone, a middle zone, and a lower zone. In the upper zone, well, let's start with the middle one. In the middle zone sits on the baseline, either real or hypothetical. The baseline, and all you hypnotists will so get this, the baseline is the line of consciousness. Everything below it is unconscious, as you will see. Now, the middle zone is day-to-day communications, A's, O's, things like that, thinking skills in M's and N's. The upper zone, we get letters like L or H that go right up into the higher zone. And we also then get letters that go into the lower zone, like G's and Y's. And the only letter that covers all 3 zones is F, small letter F. So Pulver discovered, intriguingly, that this ties in neatly with Freudian psychoanalysis, because the middle zone is the ego. It's the you. It's your sense of self that proceeds through daily life and interacts with other people. And upon that ego are 2 contrasting poles. One is the upper zone, which is your moral code. It's your imagination for good. It's your future thinking and planning and wanting to be a religious or highly moral individual and do good and be altruistic. That's the superego. It's also the critical parent voice sometimes. And then down here, we've got the id, all the unconscious nasty urges, all the things involving food, money, and the wedding tackle. So, let's take, that was just for the few Brits in the room. Let's look at this carefully. So we say, middle zone will show you your day-to-day communications, how you interact with other people and so on. Upper zone will show your aspirations and your moral code, your goals, and lower zone shows drives for food, sex, money, physicality, all of these things. So whereas we said, when we see weird writing, we know weird person. When we see weird lower zone, we know really weird person is present. So lower zones, if we see nice long lower zones like this, fairly wide, what you're seeing is a very strong sex drive. Very, very strong, very powerful at any age. It's the length of this with a loop on it. If you see one that has unusual and creative loops, we're seeing strange things in the personality as everyone starts to hide their paper. Things like, if you see one like this with a figure 8 formation in it, graphologists just get a chill when we see that. It's rare, but it's just a deliciously horrifying trait. This is a really weird sex trait that virtually anybody would find weird. I mean, I know, who knows what's weird nowadays, but that is, okay? That is weird. It's the twist in the loop. Anytime you're seeing a twist in a loop, you're seeing a twist in imagination. And if I see that, I don't know what the sex thing is. I don't know if it's Great Danes or whipping cream or chandeliers, you know, but I said you just hope to God it isn't all 3 of them. But you're seeing strange stuff. And the more variation you see in the lower zones, the greater variation in sexual activity you will see with the person as well. The lower zone that has this, that's the Felons Claw. And what you're seeing is instead of a loop, the stroke comes down to a point and claws back to the left immediately. This is the one that's found in the handwriting of at least 80% of people in the American penitentiary system, according to Andrew McNichol, who works with the FBI. And it's a very, very strange trait. This is someone, and you'll see teenage girls will go through periods where this appears in their handwriting a lot of the time. It's when they become sexually active, go on the pill, whatever, the parents don't know. This will show up for a while. It's a rebellious trait. But when you keep it into adulthood, if it doesn't go away again, it's more than rebellious. And this can lead to criminality because this is someone who has so much inner guilt, they do stupid and illegal things in order to punish themselves by getting caught. So you don't want your daughter going out with some guy who's got this in his handwriting. Rob?
Felons Claw in a G that stays in the middle zone.
Yes, fantastic question. Felons Claw in a G that stays in the middle zone, in a capital G. So I'll do it over here. You mean a G like this sort of thing, right? And there's a Felons Claw hidden in it. Now notice this is above the baseline. It comes above the baseline. This person knows they're weird. It's that specific. This is the person with weird drives and unconscious things that are causing rebellion and problems in their life. This person looks in the mirror every morning and goes, I am nuts. You know? So this is the one you're going to find more. You can find either one there, but this can be psychopathy as well because it's so slashing, so horrible in any structural, even an H. I've seen it hidden in H's like that. But it must have a point. It can't be just rounded. Ken?
John Gotti, the mob boss, the New York Times showed a love letter that he was writing with a woman, and his G had straight down there like a triangle that went like that. How would you interpret that?
Are you saying John Gotti's G capital?
No, lowercase g.
Lowercase g,
straight
down?
Straight over.
Triangle,
no,
and back?
Not up, straight over.
Straight over?
And then triangle.
A triangle up? Oh, I can tell you exactly what that is. Whenever we see triangular structures in the lower zone, are these typical or atypical? Atypical. And what is in the lower zone? Imagination of food, drives for money, drives for sex. When we see this in a man's handwriting, he will marry a very Virgin Mary type of woman. Expect her to be pristine. But he will be secretly drawn to prostitutes. Yeah, it's the Madonna prostitute complex. And when we see it with a woman, she will have very strong issues with her father, and it will cause her sexual problems as well. Typically, the lower zone should be uncontaminated, and you'll hear me use that phrase over and over, uncontaminated by unnecessary loops. Anything that shouldn't be there. Another one you'll see occasionally in the lower zone is a coil. Coil could be in a Y or in a G. It's that kind of thing. A coil it's like a coiled snake. It's a very, very nasty trait. And this is somebody who will take their time, bide their time like my business partner did, and when the moment is right, then we'll strike vigorously and powerfully, and then you'll see the coil and go, wow, that's why.